Hi guys, it's Alia. Welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm just going to be cutting up this pillow sham that I had shown in my last video. I got it at the thrift store, and I thought it would be fun just to turn on the camera while I cut it apart, because I kind of want to see what it's going to look like when I cut it up. So why not, cut it up together. So I separated it from the other one already. Now I know that I want to take off the back, so I'm thinking maybe just try to take off the back piece first. Yeah, I think that'll be the easiest. I think I'm going to start, let's see. Now I'll start right here. So I don't know how easy or hard this will be, but let's just get going and try. And maybe you can rip. Let's see if it rips. Oh, it does. Oh, well, that's easy. Maybe this video will be a lot shorter than I thought. Okay, well, here's one panel off. And, it's actually a really nice size. This is definitely enough for a journal cover. So that is nice. So let me just fold this up. Let me cut this off because we don't need this. And this. I don't know if I'm on camera or not in the screen. I'm just cutting off the tags because I don't need that to fold it up. Okay, so I'll get that done. All right, so that little piece is done. Now let's just do the other side here, and hopefully it's as easy as the first side. Yep. All right, so let me just put that piece aside. Let me fold this up, and then let's see what we have to work with. Okay, so just put that aside for now. All right, so now we bring the nice big piece back in. Now it does have this border around it, but I'm thinking I'm actually going to want to cut this border off because it's thick. Like it was folded over, and I don't want the bulk on the cover. Now, how am I going to, and I wonder once I cut it off, well, I mean, there's really only one way to know what works and what doesn't. Let's try cutting just a little piece just to see what will happen. So, I mean, I'm just thinking, and I'm not talking out loud because I was thinking. Yeah, this is just too thick. Well, you know what we'll do? Let's cut off the border. Worst case scenario, I cut it up for something else, but I also have another one. So let's just cut it for now. And you know what I can do also, because I was looking at how like this pulls up. In the meantime, I could always just run a straight stitch all the way around just to keep it together. I mean, if I'm a little nervous that it might come apart, but even so, like it's all stitched through here, so it won't fall off. So that's not the issue. I think it's just more of I don't want it kind of pulling apart. But I really don't think it can pull apart because it's sewn through. And my cutting is so crooked. All right, so far so good. Oops, that's a little. Okay, And now, I don't know why, but when you're cutting material, and it's certain material, I like the sound that it makes. It's like, it's a very, I don't know. I think it's kind of like one of those ASMR sounds. Like some sounds just are very appealing to certain people. Um, and they do all those videos and stuff making like different sounds. Like, oh, I absolutely love the sound of, you know, crinkly coffee dyed paper, or like, you know, crinkly parchment paper that's been dyed, you know, stuff like that. Love those sounds too. But just certain sounds, like when you cut a fabric, like I really like it. Okay, so all corners are off, and let me just, yeah, I mean, it's not a big deal because some of the stitches come really close to the edge. Now, the thing I have to figure out, and it never crosses my mind as I'm searching and getting excited and buying this, like when you do put it on a journal cover, like there's the batting on the inside is really thick. So am I going to have to maybe take some of the batting out so I can fold over the edges and then, you know, be able to fold them over? Because if I fold them over like this, that's just way too thick. But if I had like, this is the edge, I don't want the raw edge because then look, you know, you can see all the batting. Yeah, see, these things I don't think about when I'm standing there in the aisle getting all excited, like, wow, look what I found. But you know what? I might be able to take out the batting just, you know, for the corners. Or I could, hold on, I'm sorry, I'm thinking and I'm trying to think out loud. Wrap the edges. So if I use just for example, I don't know, cardstock for the inside, how am I gonna explain this? Like, let me see. Do I have a piece of cardstock near me? Not really, but I got some junk mail that it's nice thick, so I kept it because I might want to make one of those little mini books out of it. Okay, so say this is the edge of the cover, right? Okay, and see how it's, you know, really kind of ugly because you can see all that. But if I came in, and this is just, you know, I'm using this because it's right near me, did some kind of like that, or actually use this material to kind of, I don't know if material would work, maybe more like a lace would work, just to sort of hide the edges perhaps. I don't know, what are your thoughts? What's the best way to conquer the edges? Because then this you definitely won't be able to see, but I'd have to use a certain type of lace because, you know, you can see through this lace. I'm just trying to think. Or I could do some sort of like fabric strips with this. I mean, I probably would want to use, you know, maybe not this, maybe, you know, this section of this. And I don't even know how big each of these squares are. Let me measure it. So it is more or less 6.5 by, oh, well, that's, I cut off that one. So 6.5 by 6.5 square. Yeah. So even my whole what are they usually? I'd say like, all right, 8.5. Ah, it would really only take up like 4 squares, because it would be 8.5, let's say by, if it was 8.5 by 5.5, so 5.5, that would be 11. So it would be, yeah, so it's basically a cover would be 4 squares, which kind of stinks because, how many? So we have, yeah, so you could do 2 covers for each of the shams, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4 squares left over. But these could be turned into tags, or something else, or like a little mini journal. Yeah, could definitely do a little mini journal, or you could do mini journal to like a mini journal to go with the big one, like I did with the little angel children, or the vintage children. I forget what I called it. Oh, the vintage kids, that one, how it came with a little mini book too. That's definitely a possibility. So I'm thinking that, yeah, you know what? I can always try it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I know, and then I can cut something up and just use it for something else. But you really never know unless you try. And if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, you just hit the drawing board again. But I'm thinking, cut out the square, right? Or these 4 squares, get my journal cover, and then kind of go from there. So I do have some ideas, but some advice that I would like, if anybody has any other ideas, for the edges, please leave them in the comments below, because I'm always open to any types of suggestions. Love them, and if it helps, hey, even better, because there's a lot of things that I really still don't know about, just sewing in general, things like that. So I always love any type of advice I can get, but I'm really excited so far, and I think I'm going to use these for the first, because you could technically use those, but I really like this one. These 2 are my favorites, and I like this, so I'm probably going to go with this square first. The second square will be hard because I do like those, but it's like these are my 2 favorites. So do I like these, or do I like these? I don't know. Well, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's try one journal cover at a time. So I'm going to start with just this. You know what? Let's just do it. Let's just cut it right now. Stop all the talking. Just start the doing. All right. So we're cutting out these 4. And this is how a lot of times I do create my journals. It's kind of like I have a vision, and then to get to that vision, it's it's always an adventure, because you know how you can envision something in your head, but then when it actually comes down to trying to recreate what you have in your head, it doesn't always work. That's what I find. I mean, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, but yeah, not always. Now I'm trying to think. Do we do the journal cover like this? Or like this? I kind of like this side better. Because it'll be like, most of my things are like 8.5 by 5.5. So let's just see what 8.5 would look like. Roughly. Oh, I'm far off. Because I could do more of the top, less of the bottom, and then even like run lace or something there, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. And I did another, well, I did 2 other, like the quilted journal covers, but I feel like the batting in those weren't as thick. Like this is a thicker one. But maybe I have to rewatch the videos and just see how it ended up. But I feel like it wasn't as thick. Oh, I have some of the. Yeah, it's definitely not. It's like half of the thickness of this. So that's kind of like what the challenge is too. But I do like this as the cover. And so yeah, it's about 12 inches. So if I'm doing 11, yeah, this definitely works. So I can even go a little higher, because if I did 9 by 5.5, I think something like that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna have to cut down some templates of papers. I usually cut down a template just to see and lie it over, to see really like what it would look like, or how big and everything would be. But I'm thinking probably maybe 9 by 5.5 as the, you know, the journal cover. Because in a 9, yeah, and then I can use a regular sized piece of paper and just really fold it in half, because the top will be 8.5, and that would be leave a 1/4 inch on the top and the bottom. So yeah, so I should actually be writing this down, because I know that I will forget, and then I'm going to go back and say, oh, what was I know I was calculating something, and of course, where's my post-it notes? Oh boy, hold on. All right, so just making notes. So the cover is going to measure 9 by 5.5. So that way, yeah, it can be 8.5 by 11, and then I'll cut down the pages shorter a little bit, because I don't think that, so if we had a 11, yeah, so the pages will have to be cut down a little bit, but the height of them will be perfect. So I mean, that's fine, because I usually cut down my pages anyway, because you know when you fold them all, you always have the stuff that sticks out on the edges, so I'll cut that down. So I'm completely fine with that. So the cover of this is going to be 9 by 5.5. Now I just got to make a template and sort of figure out how to do the edges. So yeah, because I know I think like you can use bias tape too. So I don't know. I might have to just play around with it a little bit, but definitely, if you can leave a suggestion for me of how to possibly deal with the corners. Let's say that, deal with them. That would be great. Oh wait, hold on. I wanted it like this. Yeah, and then so it's gonna go in just a little bit. Or what I could do also is for the inside cover, I'll probably use some sort of cardstock or maybe a file folder just to give it a little bit of structure, or not structure, but you know what I mean. And then what I could do is, or even better, if I use some cardstock, like a scrapbooking paper, like a thicker one, and back it up to this. That way it's just the cardstock on here, and then somehow, actually, yeah, I don't know. I have to figure that out, and I know it's really late right now. My brain isn't completely working the way it normally does, but I definitely would love to hear some feedback from you guys on, dealing with the edges. So yeah, I'm going to also brainstorm. If you can help me brainstorm a little bit, that would be great. But I think that's all for this video. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in my next video. Bye.